general health and about supplementation and so forth. For those of you who don't know, the food that you eat these days, if you compare what you eat these days compared to something like back in the 1940s, okay, the amount of nutrition that's in there, whether you believe it or not, is actually abysmal compared to how it used to be. And one of the biggest reasons why is not so much it's not so much because of soil depletion. That's part of it. It's actually not that much because of soil depletion, but because we add so much fertilizers to it, and we genetically modify it so that it grows faster. So basically what you're eating, the vegetables that you're eating, when you eat, it takes a lot less time to grow. And because it takes less time to grow, it doesn't have as much time to absorb minerals and stuff from the ground. And therefore, the nutritional quality that you're getting from the food is actually not nearly as good as it used to be, which is why it's actually necessary to actually supplement. So today, I'm going to share a little information about how you can find out whether the supplements you're taking are any good, and how you can test for it. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to show you a couple of little quick videos about what proper nutrition can actually do. Because most of us think of proper nutrition just like taking a vitamin or something like that, but the fact is, when you really get down to it, okay, you can do something called, basically, instead of just taking vitamins as a supplement, we have what's called nutraceuticals. And now you know the word pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are you're using a pharmaceutical drug, some kind of drug, to achieve some kind of therapeutic result. Now nutraceuticals, on the other hand, basically we're talking about dietary supplement, whether in the form of a synthetic vitamin, like such as vitamin C or folic acid, versus or something like a herbal supplement. Okay, these are all considered dietary supplements, but in any case, you can use these to achieve therapeutic effects as well as maintain proper health. So I'm going to show a couple of real quick videos here. All right, let's see.
Studies show nearly half of you don't think natural supplements are worth buying. The Food and Drug Administration doesn't even regulate them. But a Southern chairwoman who could barely walk because of extreme pain decided to give natural supplements a try. As WETM 18 Health reporter Allison Walker explains, the woman says she's now living pain-free for the first time in 30 years.
I was in so much pain, took so many drugs. I'd get up in the morning, take a shower, fall asleep, drinking my coffee.
Belva Felker of Corning has lupus. That means for 30 years now, her immune system's been attacking her body's tissues. The disease has nearly destroyed her joints and has caused extreme fatigue.
So I actually was on 13 different drugs for my lupus.
Today, she's on none. Instead, she's taking this, a natural antioxidant supplement called OPC3. It's supposed to improve your circulation and fix your cells that oxygen has damaged. Just about 3 years ago, Belva says she would never think about just taking a leisurely stroll because she was in so much pain. Then she says just 3 days after taking the antioxidants, she noticed a big difference.
I noticed right away I could walk up the steps, normally.
There is no synovial fluid is what's in your joints that keeps them, it's kind of like greasing an axle or something. And it just brought that back, and it reduced the inflammation, it got all her blood flowing properly.
Wellness consultant Deborah Coggin sells the supplements and says there are no risks or negative side effects. The powdery antioxidant is made up of all natural stuff, like pine bark and wine and grapeseed extracts.
It's the most powerful antioxidant in the world.
So I'm very skeptical. I really thought, well, it's probably not that, it's probably something else. So I quit taking the products. Then the pain came back again.
Doctors say natural supplements won't cure you or prevent a disease, but Flecker's sold on it.
I do not take any prescription drugs at this moment.
In Corning, I'm WETM 18 Health reporter Allison Walker.
She was talking about OPC3, this little bottle right here. And one of the ingredients right here is, as they were talking about, pine bark. Now, pine bark is something that's actually very powerful. The little story behind it is basically that back in the 1500s, there was a French explorer named Jacques Cartier that was exploring out in eastern Canada. And his ship got stuck in the ice because it hit wintertime. And when they hit wintertime, all the crew had to eat were biscuits and dried meat. And slowly over time, they got scurvy because they had no vitamin C. And so they basically all their collagen and they were basically their skin was melting. Yeah. It was terrible. It's a terrible way to die. So what happened was they ran across a Native American who actually taught them how to make a tea out of pine needles and pine bark. And they boiled it together and drank it, and after a while they got better. So that's the story behind it, and then a couple hundred years later, when researchers went and looked at their journals, they found this thing about pine bark, and they thought, wait, there must be something in there that's really good. So they went and researched it, and they found something which is now called pycnogenol, which can actually be used, taken orally as a supplement. Sometimes I'll get people telling me they'd rather just eat healthy, or they just, maybe I'll just take some supplements here and there, but most of the time I'd rather just eat healthy. Well, be my guest, but the thing is, in order to get one little serving of pine bark in here, you'd have to eat 9 pounds of pine bark. I don't think anybody wants to eat pine bark. Not 9 pounds. 9 pounds of pine bark gives you 1 little cap of powder. That's all you get from 9 pounds of pine bark. Okay, so I'm going to give you one more little video about pine bark also. But the pine bark actually has a lot of different benefits. So in the last video's case, it helped with her knee joints, and here it talks about some other stuff.
Sunday House Call, and with us, as he is always on Sundays, good morning. Sunday House Call host, Dr. Isidore Rosenfeld, the Rossi Distinguished Professor of Clinical Medicine at the Weill Cornell Medical Center, recipient of the United Nations Citizen of the World Award, and the best person to ask some of these great questions that we have today. Some of them are from you. Pine bark relieves your pain if you have it in the knee. Who knew?
You know, pine bark is marketed as pycnogenol. If you go to your health food store, you see pycnogenol. I think it's a great thing. I take it myself every morning. It contains bioflavonoids. It contains a lot of anti-inflammatory properties, and the most recent research shows that about 100 milligrams, 50 milligrams twice a day of pycnogenol, pine bark, relieves arthritis, and after you stop taking it, the relief lasts for, several weeks. That's very interesting. It's especially apparently effective for arthritis of the knee. But I have read reports in the last few months which indicate that pycnogenol may also be good for cognitive impairment, for people who think they're losing their memory. It's also said to be very good. There's some reports I read that it may help menopausal symptoms. So I think that if you've got arthritis, and who doesn't, and you're worried about your memory, and especially if you're a postmenopausal woman without flashes or flushes, try some pycnogenol. There's no downside to it. I don't know of any side effects, and I take about 100 or 150 milligrams a day.
Doc, any plus for heart disease? Because we know the arteries clogging, anti-inflammatories can be helpful there, like an aspirin. Could this help too?
Theoretically it could, but there hasn't been any. I haven't seen any studies that. I only want to report things that not that I think, but that have been, documented in studies. And the research has indicated that there is benefit in arthritis, in menopausal symptoms, and in cognitive impairment.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so if you're losing your mind, you think you're forgetting things, try some. All right, so I'm going to talk about your body. So first of all, I'm going to talk about your body in terms of different systems. So if you want to talk about your body as a house, okay, the foundation of a house is very, very important. If you don't have a good foundation, it's going to collapse very easily. So if you think about your body as a house, the foundation is actually, of all things, anybody have any idea what the foundation of your body's immune system is? Which part of your body is most important to your body's immune health? Your ability to fight off infections and so forth.
White blood cells.
Digestive system. Digestive system. Okay, very good. Digestive system. Okay, your digestive system is very, very important to your health, because when you're not sick, 80% of your white blood cells stay here. Okay, and there's a reason for that. If you get something dirty in your system, where's it going to go? Probably through your mouth, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first place it hits. So that's how God created us. We got our defenses right there. Okay, and if you have anything wrong with your digestive system, any kind of autoimmune disease, whatever, a lot of the time it's because of problems that stem from here. So let's talk about first of all how we can strengthen your digestive system. So your pancreas, okay, which secretes enzymes to help break down your food. As you get older, the amount of enzymes they actually produce actually decreases. So one way you can actually help your system basically strengthen from that is by actually providing yourself with extra digestive enzymes. So what I have here is a little cup of cornstarch, and I'm going to do a quick demonstration here, okay? Add a little water to it. Alright, it's a little cornstarch, add some water, and then mix, and then mix. Who here eats a lot of starch? Noodles, pasta, rice, etc., mung bean noodles, whatever. Oops. Okay. A little more water. So basically what I'm going to pretend is, imagine if you just ate a big bowl of pasta. And what happens to it when it goes down to your stomach? It's mix,
Stays
mix,
there?
and mix, and mix. And this stuff is, my gosh, it's really tough. I think my
Somebody parked in front of somebody's garage.
oh,
That'd be probably.
oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was, Ray told me that was Benny's garage. That's what-
No, it must not be. Can you move it, please?
yeah. So basically you mix, and right now it's very, very clunky.
Yeah.
Okay,
There is, I can't find any.
so I'm going to pass this around. So basically just a little water mixed with some cornstarch. And this is supposed to simulate what happens to your digestive system when you take a lot of starch. Because it's got to do a lot of work to try to break this down. Okay, so I want you to play with this. I'm going to pass it around. Go ahead and just mix this, see how hard it is. Okay, we'll do that first. And as you pass it around, I'm going to move on to something else. Okay, so first of all, yeah, I'm afraid the spoon's going to bend. So anyways, so that basically is just to simulate what happens, how hard your stomach is going to be working when you're taking a lot of starches, okay? So next, I'm going to talk about antioxidants, okay? Now, anybody have any idea what antioxidants are for?
Repair yourself.
Repair yourself, okay. So if you cut open an apple, what happens to the apple?
Gets brown.
It turns yellow-brown, right? Okay. So why does it do that? Okay. It does that because there's oxygen in the air.
It's the air.
And the oxygen in the air oxidizes. It's kind of like rust.
Yes.
Okay. Like if you get water on some iron, it starts rusting, right? That's the process called oxidation. And oxidation is something that happens in your body just because of aging and just because you breathe. The very act of breathing, when you breathe, okay, you breathe in order to take in oxygen, and when you take in the oxygen, your body is burning the oxygen to produce energy. But that burning creates free radicals.
Yes.
And the free radicals react with your body to cause damage, okay? And so we can actually get a lot of antioxidants from our food, and that's why we want to get lots of green leafy vegetables. And that's why you also don't want to eat a whole lot of charred foods, because those charred foods, anything that's overcooked also has a lot of free radicals in it, okay? So I'm going to do a quick demonstration of what free radicals can do. So let's take a look here. More water. So here's some water. And what I'm going to do is, I've got some iodine here. Okay, now iodine, what does iodine do? Why? This is for cuts and burns. So why do we want to use something like that for cuts and burns?
Because naturally
Okay.
already.
It kills stuff.
It kills stuff. Exactly. It kills stuff. That's the whole point. It kills the. Well, I mean, you can't drink this stuff, but if you put it on topically, it'll kill the germs. And it kills the germs because of the oxidation effect. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put a few drops of this in here.
Right.
Okay.
Only if you do with me.
All right. A little bit of that. Oh shoot! I need a little. Oh, sorry. I need to get a chopstick or something. Something to mix it.
I love science experience. I like move to the front to see this.
So now we got some water with some iodine in it. Okay.
Yes.
This is a very powerful oxidizer. You don't want to get this stuff on your clothes either. It doesn't wash
Yeah,
off.
it'll stay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do now is a few strands of spaghetti. And the spaghetti will represent your body tissue.
Uh-oh.
And what happens to spaghetti what happens to your body when it comes into contact with a whole lot of free radicals? You mix it up a little bit. Mix and mix and mix and mix. And lo and behold, what happens to the spaghetti? Turns out black, right?
Yeah.
This is what we call oxidation. Okay. So when you get wrinkles, when you get age spots and so forth, that is the accumulation of the effects of oxidation. Okay. So what happens when you throw some antioxidants into the mix? So I've got a bottle of, oh, it's over there. Sorry. So we have an antioxidant here called Oxygen Extreme. This is a very powerful antioxidant for the skin, actually. This is really good for if you smoke. This is actually very good for preventing wrinkles, although I still suggest you stop smoking.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, so if you take a look at the spaghetti here, now I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm just going to use half of it.
Okay.
So I'm going to break this apart. So this here is a mix of vitamin E and selenium and some herbal antioxidants. Thank you. Okay, so just so you know, I've only used half of it. The rest is still here.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Put this other half here. I'm gonna mix it up some more. And what happens to the water?
Whoa. Clear.
It's clear now.
Yeah.
Okay. It's called reversing the oxidation.
Yeah.
And what happens to the spaghetti?
Wow.
So clean now.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why we recommend that you get plenty of antioxidants. Even if you don't necessarily feel anything better, even if you don't necessarily feel anything, it's doing something.
Yeah.
Okay, it's doing something. Because all the aging changes that are happening to your body, it's reversing.
Nice.
Okay, so that's why you want antioxidants, plenty of antioxidants, whether you get it from food or get it from supplement, whatever. Now, I could do that with this particular product, because this particular product doesn't really have any color to it. OPC3 is a very, very powerful antioxidant as well. Unfortunately, the experiment doesn't work with this because this by itself has its own color.
Mm-hmm.
It's purplish by itself, so we can't see the difference as much. But in any case, it does work. So now let's go back to the starch here. This thing is nasty.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to pour some digestive enzyme into there.
Okay.
So this is a digestive enzyme. It's called Mitamin Spectrum. This particular one is actually very good for anybody who's got any kind of gluten sensitivity or milk sensitivity. So I'm going to pour some in there. Now notice this is a powder form, okay? And typically you're supposed to add water with this, but I purposely did not add any additional water, okay? And I want to demonstrate a point here. So, if you eat a big meal, so you guys all saw this, I did not add any additional water, right? Okay. So now I'm going to mix and mix. Basically just try to get this stuff to mix together and let the enzymes do its work. Okay. And what the enzymes are going to do is going to help break down all that starch.
Yeah.
Okay, it's help break down all that starch. Mix and mix. Okay. Oh, good. My spoon isn't bending so much anymore. Okay. But if you saw how hard it was earlier, okay, and just mix and mix and let the enzymes do its job, and pretty soon, it's not nearly as hard as it was. It's actually kind of runny now.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not add water.
Nope.
Okay.
You take this out, you have to.
Okay.
Cool.
So basically, if you are really stuffed with food, taking this stuff really helps.
Nice.
Okay, it definitely does its job. One of my friends did the pho challenge at Pho Garden.
Oh,
Yeah, something like that. Okay, hella starch. Okay. I don't recommend that you do that, but if you're gonna do that, you want to bring a bottle of this with you. Yes.
So digestive enzymes, are they better to be taken after the meal or before the meal or
during? Yeah.
Depends on what you're using it for. Digestive enzymes, if you take it with the meal, it doesn't really matter too much just before or with or immediately after, as long as you take it along with the meal. If you
Can I see the 2 bottles you used?
which one?
I don't know,
The
the
enzyme?
one for that one and the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm gonna take this home later.
Yeah, you can take it. Okay. So basically, if you take digestive enzymes with the food, you're helping to digest the food right then and there.
Nice.
Now, the thing is, you can actually get a lot of active enzymes from live food. Okay, all of the food we eat actually has enzymes in it, if it's raw.
Yeah.
If it's raw, it has enzymes in it. Okay, that means the proteins within each of the cells are actually still active. If you cook it, then actually you destroy the enzymatic action of the proteins that are in there, so the enzymes are no longer active. So there's a lot of people out there that, there's just people who propose, who really suggest that we all eat raw foods. I'm not telling you to do that. That's a little extreme for me, although I'm sure there's no harm in doing that
I did
as long.
it for 6 weeks.
Okay, huh?
I did it for 6 weeks.
You did it for 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. Yeah.
That's how you lose weight.
Yeah, if you eat raw food, you definitely you're going to lose weight. One of the reason why you want to do that is because when you get not only is the when you're doing nothing but raw food, the enzymes that you're getting in the food are all active, and those enzymes can actually be utilized by your body. Okay, and not only that, but it actually digests more easily. Okay, well, depends. It depends. It actually varies depending on the food, but it can potentially digest more easily. You get more nutrients out of it. And so if you take the digestive enzymes on an empty stomach, okay, in an isotonic form, then what happens is it actually helps to clean your blood. Because when you absorb the enzymes into your system, it actually helps to cleanse your blood. Okay. Okay. And so that's why for hangover, it's helpful. So that's why you want to use this stuff for hangover.
Could it be a good idea to take digestive enzymes at least like twice a day, like say in the morning on an empty stomach, and then maybe later after you eat like lunch or something, right after you eat lunch or something?
You could, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's not going to be a problem.
So for hangovers, sorry, I just renewed this, but for hangovers, is it before you drink and after you drink, or which one is better?
You can do both. So for me, I will take that before I drink.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And then once I get home or when I wake up in the morning, I have hangover, I will take it.
The digestive enzymes.
That one's the vitamins and the kids version. But still, that's for kids?
That particular one's for kids. The adult one, that one there is for kids. The adult one also has probiotics in it.
What's the name for the adult?
It's still digestive enzymes. Oh. Yeah, it just looks a little bit different. Oh. It's still the same powder stuff.
Can we play with this?
Yeah, pass it around. Please pass it around. Okay. So next we're going to talk about something else that a lot of us are lacking in, and that's omega-3s. Yes. Okay. So omega-3s. Anybody? You guys? Okay. So the thing about omega-3s, there's a lot of variation in terms of the quality of the omega-3s and also the concentration. Okay. So here I have a sample of what not to get for an omega-3. First of all, it's a clear bottle. That's a big no-no. Okay, clear bottle is a big no-no because omega-3s are actually sensitive to light. When there's too bright light, the omega-3s oxidize easily. Okay, when omega-3s oxidize, what does it smell like?
Fish.
Smells like fish, right? Rotting fish. Rotting fish is the smell of oxidizing omega-3s. Okay, so when omega-3s start to oxidize, that's basically what's happening. So if the omega-3s that you're taking, like after you take it, it tastes really, really fishy and kind of stinky, that means it kind of went bad inside already. Okay. So if you look carefully at any label, you want to make sure that it's also got vitamin E in it. It's called mixed tocopherols. Okay, it's got to have mixed tocopherols in there because the vitamin E basically prevents it from oxidizing. Okay, so any company that makes any kind of decent fish oil is going to have vitamin E mixed in with the fish oil. Okay, so I'm going to compare a couple different brands here. So right here we have a fish oil, regular strength, 1,000 milligrams, purified. This is whatever. So Finest Natural brand versus the Heart Health brand, which I take. I've heard of cardiology practices, cardiologists who swear by this particular product. So if we compare these two, let's see what happens. Okay, we've got two styrofoam cups here, and is it still hot? Yeah, it should still be hot. Okay, some warm water in each one, sealed for your protection. Okay, so I'm going to throw one of these. Actually, I'm going to do two of these. I'm going to do 3. Because if you look at the active ingredients, it takes 3 of these to equal one of these. So I got 3 of them in there, and one of these over here. Let's see what happens after a while. I'm going to set that aside for now. I'm just going to let it sit for a little bit. Okay. So this is this, and this is that. Okay. We're just going to let that sit. Okay. We'll come back to this later. I'm going to show you something about calcium. So a lot of people in the United States with osteoporosis. Yes. And the funny thing is, we get more calcium than everybody else. So why do we have a problem with osteoporosis? Part of the problem is because we eat too much meat. Yeah, okay? That's true. When you eat too much meat, it makes your body more acidic. Yes. When your body's more acidic, you actually leach calcium. Okay, your body is trying to fix its own pH by utilizing calcium, because calcium is actually Alkaline, exactly. Calcium is alkaline. So when your body takes calcium out of the bones and puts it into circulation, what it's trying to do is trying to correct its own pH. So if you're losing calcium, chances are you're probably eating too much meat. So what you really want to do, ideally, is eat a whole lot more vegetables. Okay, you want to eat a whole lot more vegetables. But if you are going to take a calcium supplement, there's something we want to show you about something being isotonic. So I've got two different calcium supplements here. One is Caltrate. This is calcium carbonate, along with some FD&C Blue No. 1, aluminum lake, FD&C artificial food coloring, etc. Okay, there's that, and then there's isotonic calcium plus. Yes. This one comes in a powder. This one comes in a pill. Now I'm going to do something here. I'm going to take one of these out because we are going to try to dissolve it. We're going to try to dissolve it in some water. Okay. So in order for me to dissolve this, I actually need to break this up into a powder. So I got this thing here. I don't know if I should pound this on glass. Down here. All right. So now.
FYI, your body doesn't have a hammer inside of it either. So
Right.
It's down inside your body.
Right. Okay. So I pour that in there. So the calcium carbonate, the Caltrate is now over here. Beating it to a pulp. Now I'm going to add some water. Do you think this is dissolved?
No.
No.
No? Why not?
Because I can still
Powdery.
see the
Powder on the bottom.
pieces.
You still see the pieces?
You can see pieces on the bottom.
Okay. Wipe this off here. Let's mix it up a little bit. Yeah, I guess I can still see the pieces on the bottom. And then we use this cup here. Put a little bit more water in here. And I'm running out of water. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so two different kinds of calcium. One came in a tablet form, another in a powder form. And I'm going to just put one serving of this in here. Actually, the amount of water is actually more like 2 servings. Put a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Okay. When calcium is completely dissolved, it forms a cation, meaning that it's got a positive charge. Okay? And if you've taken chemistry or physics, anything like that, you'll know that if calcium is actually completely dissolved, it becomes a salt. And a salt is actually capable of conducting electricity. So let's see what happens if we take this little thing here. So this thing basically, this little light bulb, I'm gonna plug it in right here. And this little thing here, there's 2 prongs. If I touch something metallic, then the light bulb actually comes on. Right here. There we go, the light bulb comes on. Because I close the circuit.
Yeah.
Okay, I complete the circuit, so the light bulb comes on. Let me bring this a little bit closer to myself here. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
No, this is exciting.
So let's see what happens with this one here. Oh, we still get a little bit. We do get a little bit. Okay. Now this one here, a lot brighter.
Right.
A lot brighter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is actually one of the better ones. Most of the time, most of the other ones I've tested, none of them have actually lit up. This one actually still lights up a little bit, so that's not bad. But that's the tonic one lights up real bright. This is essentially the same as touching that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's not much difference there. Okay, this is actually not bad.
And that's because we assisted it too, by grinding it down.
Yeah, that's because we grind it down. Okay. Unplug this before I try to wipe this thing off. Okay. All right. The water wasn't hot enough. Darn.
I can microwave some more.
Thank you. Well, it's working a little bit. Okay, so if we come back to this, okay, if you look back, come back to the fish oil here. So, fish oil, typically what you get in the fish oil supplements is it's what we call in a ethyl. Is that water?
Just another water cup.
Okay, no, so I'm fine. Okay, so basically, when you're comparing different fish oils, one of the things you can do to test how strong it is, how potent it is to actually throw it in a styrofoam cup and see what happens. Okay, if you look at this one versus this one, I got 3 of these sitting here and 1 of these sitting here. Actually, in terms of the active ingredient, this is actually equal. Okay, it's actually equal in terms of active ingredient. But if you look carefully at what the cup's doing, this one, there's nothing happening with the cup. Okay, the cup is fine as it is. This would work better if the water was hotter. I'm sorry, but the water had cooled off already. This one, nothing happening here. Okay, if you look over here at this one, if you look at the edge here.
Oh, it's breaking apart already.
It's breaking apart. Okay, and this is the lukewarm water.
Oh,
okay.
the cup's broken.
It's eating the.
So basically, the fish oil is actually dissolving through the styrofoam.
And what's the styrofoam supposed to
So
represent?
the styrofoam, well, we're supposed to represent the plaque buildup in your arteries.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have a potent enough fish oil, it actually does help clean that out. That's why they say fish oil, omega-3s are a very potent blood thinner. Okay, it really does do that. It has a very potent effect on thinning out your blood. So frankly, I don't really believe in using any kind of those. There's certain prescription blood thinners out there that are actually diluted. They're essentially diluted rat poison, is what it is. Okay? Yeah, the prescription blood thinners, the Coumadin. Okay, prescription blood thinners. Okay, something called Coumadin. It's available by prescription only. It is rat poison. That's what it is. Okay, basically it's diluted rat poison that you're giving to patients to thin out their blood. That's really what it is. Okay.
That's gross.
Yeah, but that's essentially what it is. I mean,
Give some of that.
just take some of that. So that's basically it. So basically what we have here, we've got digestive enzymes to help support your digestive system. If you want to keep from getting older, you want to take plenty of antioxidants and make sure that's something that will actually clear up the spaghetti. And if you're going to give yourself some extra omega-3s, as far as omega-3s are concerned, the average American diet. So ideally, you want an equal amount of omega-6 to omega-3s. Most of us get way too much omega-6, and your omega-6 is basically coming from your vegetable oils. So whether it's corn oil, safflower oil, whatever, okay, it's going to have plenty of omega-6s, very little omega-3s, and most of us are cooking with vegetable oils. Okay, so if you're low on omega-3s, problems that happen are basically you get too much inflammation in your body. It can lead to skin problems, dry eyes, cardiovascular problems. Okay, so I recommend everybody to take a good high quality fish oil. Most people are actually also low in vitamin D. Okay, so if you're taking really good care of your body and you're actually eating all the good vegetables and stuff like that, you might be okay on the general nutrition in terms of multivitamin. But the one thing that's actually difficult to come by these days is the vitamin D, just because most of us don't spend enough time out in the sun. But the thing is, if you spend a lot of time out in the sun, you get other problems to worry about. Okay? You get other problems to worry about. So the best way to do it really is just to get it from a supplement, okay? Because trying to get enough vitamin D from the sun, it just leads to premature aging. Now, you may or may not get cancer, you may or may not die sooner, but you are going to look worse getting there. Yeah. Okay. So that's basically it. So and one other thing, as far as vitamin D is concerned, so there's a lot of science out there talking about vitamin D and how it's supposed to help you absorb calcium, right? What's something, I don't have any kind of demonstration or anything, but I just want to share with you guys, there's a particular vitamin called vitamin K2. Vitamin K2, in the isotonic products, we've mixed vitamin D with vitamin K2 for a very good reason. Because when you're taking lots of vitamin D will enable your body to absorb plenty of calcium, but the problem is, your body may not necessarily know exactly how to direct that calcium into your bones. Okay, so vitamin D, the vitamin K2 is actually going to help your body direct the calcium directly into your bones instead of having it deposited into your arterial system, where it's going to cause your blood vessels and cause them to harden and so forth. Okay, we don't want that. We don't want the calcium going to the wrong place. We want them going to the right place, doing the right stuff. Okay, so that's the end of all I have to share with you guys tonight. I hope you found it interesting. There is one thing on the Market America website. We have something called the Nutrophysical. Okay, basically the Nutrophysical, what it is, it's an online dietary lifestyle questionnaire that we typically like to take people to go through to help them understand. You know, okay, we're gonna run through all of these things so that we can find out, okay, just what particular aspects of your health is a little bit off. Because sometimes you may not think that something is affecting you. Like for example, some people are actually at risk for diabetes, but they don't know it. They have certain symptoms that they have, but they don't know that it's because of emerging diabetes. Okay, so I recommend anybody who hasn't taken it to go online, to go to the web portal and take that online questionnaire, find out what particular aspects of your health are deficient in, and we can make some recommendations in terms of whether it's products or dietary changes, etc., lifestyle changes. That'll be awesome. Okay, and thank you very much. And I really want to congratulate all of you for coming because you're taking a first step to help your own health. Okay, thank you.